How Christmas is meant to be celebrated. I'm sure many of you love to celebrate Christmas, especially with family and friends. I also love to celebrate Christmas because it's a favorite in my family. In my family, we love to watch a Charlie Brown Christmas on Christmas Eve while drinking hot apple cider that my dad would make. Then we'd stay up until midnight to open our gifts and go back to sleep. So yes, we don't actually open presents on Christmas morning, but we do have a Christmas feast for lunch and dinner the next day. Of course, we'd also attend the Christmas service in our church as well. I don't know about you. After all, families each have their own traditions that they like to do for Christmas. But I think that families should remember how Christmas is meant to be celebrated by celebrating it with others, remembering the gift of giving, and remembering the true meaning of Christmas. First of all, I think Christmas should always be celebrated with family, or maybe at least with friends if for some reason you can't celebrate with family. Christmas is meant to be shared by others and should not be celebrated alone. It just feels sad and lonely, at least for me. There are always fun family traditions that you can try as well to get into the spirit of Christmas. A website called Minted.com has cited many fun family activities to try, but I'll mention some relevant ones. First, you can watch classic Christmas movies together, such as A Charlie Brown Christmas, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Elf, and many more. Christmas often gets associated with gifts a lot, so you can also think of creative ways to exchange gifts. For example, White Elephant is a fun, creative sort of game where everyone puts their gifts in a pile and the host gets to draw out a number associated with each player. Sometimes there are twists to these numbers. Another way we can celebrate Christmas is that we should remember the gift of giving. Why do we give? I think people often like to get spoiled during Christmas because they get to receive all these gifts, which is great, but it would seem selfish if you're only a receiver and not a giver, right? I think the reason why we should give, and not just presents, is because giving brings joy to both the receiver and the giver. Givers become happier when they give because they see the joy of the receivers. And that joy, I think, sort of affects them. There's probably a scientific reason for that, but that's one way to think about it. My point is that giving shows how much you care for the receiver, and you can show your appreciation and your love to that person. Giving a present means that you're willing to spend your own money or your time to make the gift to show that the receiver is special for you. Lastly, we should always remember the true meaning of Christmas, the birth of Jesus Christ. We're celebrating it for Jesus, after all. And since we know this true meaning of Christmas, why don't we share it with others, especially to family members and friends who may be struggling with something and need joy and peace in their lives? Although Christmas is often seen as a secular holiday due to the commercialization and its evolution until today, I believe that it should also be a spiritual holiday for everyone. Christmas should remind everyone why it came to be in the first place. I won't get too much into the details about its history, but it did start as a religious holiday in order to commemorate the birth of Jesus. But don't treat going to church for the Christmas service as something you're required to do. Going to a special Christmas service can really help you connect with God spiritually. Therefore, Christmas should be celebrated with Jesus' birth in mind. We shouldn't always just see Christmas as just a religious holiday or a secular holiday, but more of a spiritual reminder or a spiritual holiday of why Jesus came here to earth. Remember, Christmas is all about Jesus and God's plan to save the world from sin. And so I hope that as you celebrate Christmas with your family and close friends, that you will be able to remember God's greatest gift to mankind. Thank you.